Okay, starting this game, custom game. That's all we have now. Working on the campaign currently. Do a new game. We're gonna go with 2 AI players. I doubt we'll play through the whole game, but just kind of give an idea of how I build. It's always nice to have little extra forests. Copper deposits are nice. Keep the mountains low because I'm going with a small map. If I went with large, I might up your mountains. But anyway, currently Rome's the only faction. All AI stay on one team. Then you can pick easy or medium. I have a hard coming later, but right now got some balancing issues to deal with before I can put in the hard. So that's that. And we're going to start the game. It'll take a second to load. Um, and then we'll see what we can build here. So first off, I'm going to pause the game and kind of scroll out, look around a little bit, see what we can see. We want to have both water and copper deposits. It's nice to have mountains as well. But let's find our adversaries first so that we know where they're at. This could take a second. There's one of the players. He's got a pretty awesome starting spot. He's got all the different resources. And then we have this guy here. Not quite as good because he doesn't have the water, but other than that, pretty good spot. And now we're looking for somewhere that's close, but not right on top of any of these guys, so that we can have our chance to build. I like this spot. There's a ton of copper. That's abnormally high. And then we still have woods and mountains we can get to for iron and everything. So we're going to start by placing that there. And then before I even unpause it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in buildings. I'm going to grab some roads. Roads build instantaneously. And so they can be built while paused. No big deal. Now, we want to build our population towards where we're going to first get resources from. Normally that's lumber, but let's check our trading first. Buys are clay and iron. So clay we're going to get by building clay pits near water, and iron we get by being by the mountains and having iron mines. And then we have bricks. Bricks come from clay. So right now I'm leaning towards clay. And then we have furniture and swords, which are made from iron and wood. Wood goes to lumber, goes to furniture. It's a three-part process there, whereas iron just goes straight into swords. We can buy food, which is always nice. So if we have food issues, we can buy some food. So I'm going to open both these routes because I am going to start with the clay route, which means we're building this way for our population first. So let's put up some roads. I like to build kind of diagonal off of my town hall because I put a architect office right in the corner there. Kind of get it as far away from your town hall, which I might add. Oh, that was the unit. Which I might add has an architect. So I kind of like to spread it out, and then we'll go through and build houses. Just a few to get started. That way the immigration starts. After the first two houses, immigration will start to show up. Let's unpause the game. Our builders will come out. They'll build over here. And we will be waiting just a second for those to finish up. And then we'll start to build other resources. So obviously we need food. Food is pretty key. I think over here would probably be a good way to build for the food. So we're going to start here. Whoops. Just demolish that real quick. Let's try that again. Little mistake there. Alright. And then roads to get to them. And that'll start that. We also need to get a market going because after you make the food or grow the food, whatever, your market is what distributes that to your people. So pretty important. And then we need to get, like we talked about, we need to get clay going because we want to get trade going pretty fast here. So I'm going to grab 2 clay pits, put a road in. Notice I have open spaces. Open spaces are great for putting in some constables' offices. And if we didn't have an architecture hut so close, we'd put it in here. We have more one-spot buildings coming, including a temple. Once we put in some religion, that'll start to fill up more of these 1-slot spaces. But we've got those going. We're going to need more population because each one of these places, workplaces, takes somewhere between 4 and 6 people to work, and each house has 5 occupants, or up to 5 occupants. So if you notice, we've already had our immigration. We're up to 15 people from the 10 we started with. We have 11 jobs available. So we need to consider that. We also need to make sure that we don't start starving, which will happen if we're not careful. So I'm going to pause the game again. We're going to look at, okay, we know that we need iron and swords over here. So, and then our copper, which is amazing for building mints and stuff. So building out this direction would also be great. So we have a population center over here. That'll really help those buildings get going quicker, as your population will go to the closest building to work. So we don't want to cover up these coppers, so we're going to kind of build straight out this way. And then I'm going to leave some space here for like a warehouse or granary. I haven't decided which one first. Probably a granary. And then I'm going to build kind of exactly the same as I did. Now, same thing. I want to put my architecture office. This time I'm not going to take up one of the spaces inside, but I want to put it on the far side. That way, as it goes to work, it's going to work from the closest building in, so it stays kind of further out by itself. You can choose to have a different strategy. That's currently my strategy, the way that I work on things. We're going to put up some houses there because we are going to need quite a bit more population really quickly. Now, with these mines being so close, we have to be careful not to cover them up. So when we go to resources and we go to copper mine, we don't want to cover both with one, so we're going to kind of go like that. And then what we'll do is build roads down here. We'll leave space for at least one more farm. And then storage, granary. Now, one great thing about the storage is they have their own cart pushers that will go get the resources they want. They don't like my low population, which is completely accurate, because if you look, I have 14 spots open and only a population of 18 because I'm building so fast and not waiting for my population to come through. But we're going to dismiss that and then jump through. And you can see our population coming through. One thing eventually will change is they won't take their jobs until after they have been to their house, but that is still in an older state from earlier on in development. But anyway, you can actually see right now what they actually are. Ooh. Our guy over here started to build a clay pit way over there. We'll see how that goes. So these will get us copper ore, and so we're eventually going to want a mint. But as you can see, it needs lumber. So in order to get lumber, we need to build a lumber yard, which that's about as good a spot as any. Maybe I should have built a road out here and put it over here, but I didn't. And then after that's built, then what we'll do is we'll have to build we could actually build it first, but I don't want to deal with it right now. We'll have to get lumber. And I actually want to get this going a little faster, so I'm going to put that a high priority. The next builders will go straight to that. Available builders, that is. And another thing I want to mention is there's a builder slot in your architecture office. So by spreading out your architecture offices, you're going to have things built better around your city. You start with 5 builders in your town hall, and you can see the town hall also has storage. It stores up to 150 units of things. But as you can see, this cart pusher is just straight going and getting a bunch of grain, and that's one of the great things about having a granary. If you don't have one, you may not have the grain in storage. Grain has to be in storage for the market to go get it. So as you can see, these guys are walking up, they're grabbing it, they're going back. Also, our military units, we're starting to see our constables show up. Constables produce happiness. I would actually like to do another constable military constable's office, so we'll put it up there. Now we have our population starting to come up. Let's see. You know, what'd be a good thing in here would be see how many housing slots are unfilled. I'll add that one. You can start to hear them chopping the wood right now. They're behind the building. You can actually see the shadows right there. But yeah, gonna kind of pick up. Well, I probably need to put in a little industrial park, to be honest. Probably looking at maybe. I like my industrial parks to either be 4x4 or 4x6. Right now we'll do a 4x4. We need to have ourselves a lumber mill. And the reason I do these like this is because I kind of surround them by population. So I'll probably build population over here in a minute. And then we need to get our trade going. As you can see, our money is starting to dwindle pretty quickly. So our trade post, we're going to want to keep it central. And if this is going to be my industrial area, what I'll do is I'll end up building a... we'll build a warehouse over here. And then you want really good road access to your warehouses. That's pretty key. I'm going to leave those spaces open. Because like I said, I like to add... constables' offices. A, they make people happy, but then B, they protect you when you get attacked, and they also deter because you have a military, not a controllable military. You can't control your constables, but they are definitely military. And then another architect office, mainly because there's not one down here. Okay, and now you can see this flag coming. So they are, I'm going to pause it for a second. They are starting to amass in order to fight, which is a little earlier than I would have liked, but what we can do is, because we have our wood there, we can build guard towers. Notice they need wood, but we're going to build them kind of here. Well, let's go here and hope we'll put that as highest priority so that we can get some guys in there. Do we have a bunch? We have a bunch of jobs that don't have people in them, so let's put up our housing real fast because we are going to need that. Looks like that's a constable there. I think luckily their people are just starting to immigrate in, their legionnaires, so hopefully we can get our guard tower built, because obviously we don't have any army to speak of because we don't have anybody in our lumber mill making lumber, so we can't even make a barracks. Barracks obviously requires lumber there. And that's coming down, which won't be the... It's just early. Yes, I'm in debt. My trade hasn't really started taking off, but we'll get to that in a second. Looks like they haven't decided. Oh, there it goes. So our guard tower is going to kind of mow these guys down. The guard towers do a great job of putting down small aggressions like this. That will change with the archer, which is kind of the goal of the archer. The archer's coming soon. Waiting on some art, and then I've got to put some time into AI and everything. But that defended us for now. And then if you look around, we've got our other guy over here. He's built himself a barracks as well. Oh, there he's coming. That's kind of a gathering spot, obviously. And then what we'll do is we'll build a road out a little bit, because we actually want to control this whole area here. We want that mine. And so we'll kind of come maybe this way, and put in a couple guard towers as well. This time we'll put in 2 because we have a bunch of lumber. So set those to high, and we will kind of wait. The next thing we want to do is get our economy going and balanced. So we need to get our trading post up. We already opened those trading routes. Our goal is to trade the bricks, which we don't have, and clay. Clay we should have tons of. We do. We have 124. So let's consider getting our brick kiln. Now, I know our copper is way over here, but this is kind of where I want my industrial complex, and so I'm kind of torn on where to put this stuff. I think maybe I'll put them here. Because I think most of the clay's coming here. Yeah, most of the clay is shown up there. And they're kind of building right into me, which is not quite what I'm looking for. But we should have enough population once all that comes through. What we'll need to do now is to add population over in this street. Oh, you know what? We need to worry about farms. Ooh, snow slows your farm's production down, which is kind of harsh. I still have a lot to work on the AI of these of the Legionnaires, but that's gonna come when I kind of work hard on it for the Archer as well. Population, let's see, I think actually here's the safest place to build my population right now. Road. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like these size things here. I'm not exactly sure why. It's not, but I've always kind of made them 2x4. So, and then we need to make sure we have a architect office in this corner over here. So we have one there, one over here, one here, one here, and it really does help to do stuff. Guard towers will not attack buildings. I didn't want people rushing with towers, so that's good. A little bit of starvation issues. I'm guessing that's because we only have one market. So we have a population center here and a population center there. With the market there, I think a market way over here is probably going to solve most of the issues. If we look at this market, it has plenty of food, but people have to travel to get to it and buy their food. And they only buy food after they rest, so I guess I should explain that. So we have our units, and then they have this stamina bar, and when this stamina bar empties, then they rest. It doesn't even empty. I think it goes to 25%, and then they want to go rest. Most things will finish. Most units will finish exactly what they're doing, but that could be as simple as getting 1 unit of a production done. So, and then they'll go rest. After they rest, then they go and they shop. So that's kind of an important bit there. So we are looking at our trade. We're already trading clay, so that's great. Let's look at our economy. We are starting to trade finally. And then if we look over here, we have our clay, and we can trade 35 units of the clay. Then we need bricks, and that's why we built these bricks here. And brick kilns, that is, and we're working on that. So we've got people coming in here. Again, guard towers are a great way if you want to delay the enemy and be able to stand up to it on easy. The computers really don't make enough units to get through your guard towers. So if you just want to play as a builder, put up a couple guard towers and you should be all right. You know what we need, and I completely missed, and will help balance our economy. We're actually getting very in debt. Is we need our mints that we talked about earlier, but I just didn't have the resources. I still don't have the resources. There it is. We have enough lumber. All right, so I'm putting in 2 mints because we have so many. You can put at least 1 mint to each copper mine as long as they're in opportune locations. And it's actually, the copper mine should produce a little bit more copper than 1 mint needs. If you notice, the copper ore is just stacking up. And I think that's due to probably resting. Yeah, they're resting. Notice the stamina climbing up. It's because they're resting. And that's why they're not working. Hopefully we can get this economy balanced before we lose. I was too busy talking and not focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing. But we're getting enough bricks that should start to weigh heavily on our ability to do trade. And it is. It's starting to ramp up. Notice the mint's still 0 because they really haven't gotten it. Ooh, we don't have the population. No population? That's bad. Let's get some houses going. Got our production going pretty well. You know what we need is a forum, which will help tax. They have tax collectors, and we should probably have a road right here because you can see people walking through the grass. So if we just build ourselves a little road, that'll speed up substantially, as you saw. Getting enough population in here is going to be key. It's Monday, and you pay people on Friday, and right now I think our wages may put us under the 2,000 and kill us if we don't get a little bit more trade done. But we are running pretty low on bricks, which is what our main trade piece is. So let's take a look. Trade. Yeah, bricks are the piece there. Our mints are still too underpopulated. Well, we made it through that one, so that Friday payday, which is great because our trade and our mints really should pick up pretty quick here. As soon as these cart pushers get to them, I'm betting that cart pushers just ran in there, and they did. So, we'll see. You can already see our money slowly coming in, and then looks like most of it's from taxes. That was a good choice here. Putting in the forums. I oftentimes forget to build those. Those are super important, though. And our mint is finally having an impact. Looks like we're going to get to enough money to pay our people on Friday, which is that's what we need. We're actually doing better than last time we hit a Friday, but we also have more wages, so we'll see. If we make it through that one, I think we'll be fine, and we did. So, barely. Again, negative 2,000, you lose. The economic collapse is essentially what happens. And you have loss. Looks like they're starting to get more and more. They might have a second barracks now. They do. So eventually I'm going to have the AI get a lot more intelligent with the way it attacks. Right now, 1 or 2 guard towers against an easy opponent, for the most part, we'll take care of it. And if it's not the case at some point, just build another guard tower. If you see our money, it's really, really cranking out now. Our mints are starting to get the job done. Our taxes are doing well, and our trade is doing well. All of these are entries. Each entry will expire after, I believe it's 30 days right now. So this is also entries that expire. So this is not since the beginning. This has expirations on it. This system here will get much better over time. I have a plan, and it'll be much nicer. I'm just trying to get a little bit more in. We just got some heavier rain. Heavier rain can start to cause flooding, so that's yet another issue. We just made our payment to our people for wages, and yet we still have quite a margin before we go to that negative 2,000. which means our economy really has recovered, and looks like we're gonna do just fine. Another big one that we can do is we can go in here and add the ability to trade weapons and furniture. Furniture is the most expensive of all these. Here, let me bring that up. Um, so we have this trade menu, and it shows you what each thing is worth. And if you notice, because lumber takes 3 steps to make, it's quite expensive. Not lumber, furniture takes 3 steps to make. It's quite expensive, and it is very valuable, obviously. So getting lumber being done, furniture being done, is a big economic piece. Now you do require trees, but we have lots of trees. Swords, on the other hand, are infinite. So if we just mine some iron ore, we could, and we can turn that off, by the way, so that we don't trade the iron ore and just trade the swords that get made out of them. We can make quite a lot of money off that as well. So we've already balanced our economy. It's headed in a northerly direction, and we still haven't even got swords, nor have we built an army to attack. But this is already a 25-minute video, so I'm going to call it for now. I'm going to save this game, and then maybe some point I'll come back to you.